Donald Trump had his pre-inauguration rally last night, and I want to play something for you all that is eyebrow raising to say the least. Kylie, play the clip.
And it's pretty amazing. But he did that, and then he journeyed to Pennsylvania, where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me in Pennsylvania. And he's a popular guy, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
And what's going on there?
Is that an admission that Elon fucked with the computers so that he would win the election?
It sounds weird. And when you think back to all of the times that he was like, I don't need your vote. We've got the votes handled. And then you have Joe Rogan who said, yeah, Elon knew who won long before they even announced it on cable news. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I believe that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but I surely hope that someone has really looked into this, especially considering that elections are handled on a state level. That is just wild. Could you imagine if a Democratic candidate said something like that after what we went through on January 6th? What the fuck was that?
Here's my thing. If anybody is dumb enough to rig an election and then rat themselves out, I 100% believe Donald Trump is that person. I mean,
no question about it.
He's so incompetent. And what that tells me is a couple things. Number one, I don't trust him at all, which that's not news, but it just the level of corruption that surrounds him. I mean, I don't want to be MTG either, but he's out there saying, Elon Musk took control of the computers. I won by a landslide. Thank you, Elon. That tells me Elon had inside information. How did he have that information? Are we looking into it? The level of corruption is unbelievable. And one thing, when I was reading this story, I was so alarmed. And something we forgot about were all the bomb threats called into the Democratic voting areas during the election that shut down the polls. We kind of just glossed over that. But to me, there was absolutely a coordinated effort to keep Democratic voters from the polls. And now we've got Elon, who may or may not have fucked with the computers. And I don't think it would be just in Pennsylvania. I think it'd be across the board. But yeah, it's very alarming.
When it comes to the bomb threats, I haven't heard any follow-up, certainly not from corporate media. Or any governmental agencies or any politicians that have said that we've launched an investigation, we figured out who placed these phone calls, et cetera, et cetera. There's been zero follow-up. And the erosion of democracy is happening. And today is, the big day for it. And we're all going to have to try to get through it. But let me play for you a clip. Speaking of Elon Musk, this guy, we spoke last week. I push back on all of this. Elon's so smart and he's so brilliant. I just push back on all of that. I just want to play you this clip of this man at the rally last night.
This victory is the start, really. What matters going forward is to actually make significant changes, cement those changes, and set the foundation for America to be strong for a century, for centuries, forever. So. And make America great again. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, we're gonna do great things here. Thank you.
Okay, number one, somebody called DHS.
For sure.
Taking a toddler to a MAGA rally is nothing short of child abuse. Number two, I don't want to, if he has a stuttering problem, I certainly don't want to pile on and be cruel about that. But what did he even say? It's such a jet stream of bullshit. We're going to cement American leadership and we're going to make America great again. Meanwhile, this guy has made $200 billion dollars, and Trump is getting sworn in today. He's made 200 billion. What is happening here is the Republican Party has brilliantly messaged to a lot of lost Americans that feel like they've been forgotten, working class Americans. What has injured them is not the government. It is corporations. Corporations have injured them, and the systems that protect corporations have injured them. The tax loopholes have injured them. But the Republican Party has said, here's who you can scapegoat: immigrants, trans people, and the libtards. These are the people that you can blame. And meanwhile, you have this broligarchy. And I just want to predict this. I think all of these people have been very short sighted to go pre surrender before the inauguration, because we all know how bad Trump 1.0 was. Trump 2.0 is going to be every bit as bad. It's going to be worse. It is going to be a shit show of epic proportions. Look at who Donald Trump's top advisor. I thought you couldn't get worse than Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. And you just saw the video of Elon Musk parading around with this toddler who a lot of people say he uses as a body shield, which wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Here's the thing. I don't want to make fun of somebody with a stutter either, but I've never heard him do that before. And I'm thinking what all we heard about was Biden's stammering, which he said, I've had a stutter since childhood. Elon Musk gets up there. He sounds like a complete fucking nut. He's got his kid and he's got that stammer. I don't think he has that. I think that he is off his rocker. And the fact that he and Donald Trump, I mean, in my opinion, Donald Trump is secondary to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is holding the leash for Donald Trump.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, but don't forget that Donald Trump has flexed in a way with these oligarchs to kind of like with the whole TikTok thing. He has said, had them post that, oh, Donald Trump is going to save TikTok. And that was all just performative political BS. So they have a lot of power. I don't know that he's going to let them keep it. And so it's going to be very interesting. But before we go along, please support us by supporting our sponsors. We're going to read a quick ad. Pumps and I want everyone to know that this winter, and it is super, super cold outside, and we're about to enter the coldest months of all, everyone needs to have Quince's cozy Mongolian cashmere sweaters. I absolutely love mine. Cashmere can be very expensive, but not with Quince. They start at just $50.
I am wearing my Quince sweater. I got it last week. It is so comfortable. It is so soft. You cannot tell the difference on sweaters. I paid 3 times as much. So I've already ordered 3 more because they're fabulous.
Listener, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practice, so you can rest assured that way. And of course, they use premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Upgrade your closet this year without the upgraded price tag. Go to quince.com/IHIP news for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/IHIP news to get free shipping and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/IHIP news. Okay, now back to the news on this very dark day in America. Speaking of the TikTok stuff, one thing I think is really important is at this stage, Gen Z doesn't care who started the ban, who messed around with the ban. They don't care about the Supreme Court. Trump tweeted very simply, save TikTok. That's it. All caps, save TikTok, exclamation point. Number one, because I don't think he's smart enough to construct sentences beyond that, but I digress. the Democrats, again, it's this nuanced stuff, but I just want to put this out there because I think it's important to inject things into the permanent record. I want to play for you a montage of Trump. He's the one that started all this TikTok stuff of Trump talking about banning TikTok. Kylie, play the clip.
Wanted to disable TikTok 3 years ago. I was met with opposition from rhinos, Democrats, and everyone else. They actually went to court in an effort to stop me. We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok. We gave them until September 15th. After that, they got to close shop. Okay, that's TikTok. We're looking at TikTok. We're thinking about making a decision. We're going to be watching the hearings today very closely.
Okay, I think we've all seen enough, Kylie. Let's remove him. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. What we just saw with this acquiescence, capitulation by TikTok to Donald Trump, they remove it. And then they put, we are so grateful that incoming President Trump will take a look at this. And then, 15 hours later, President Trump saved TikTok. This is going to happen for the next 4 years because this guy is an empty, black heart person on the inside, and he needs to be filled up. And so he's going to do all of this political theater bullshit. But here's what's more insidious about every single bit of this. All of the people on the stage, TikTok guy, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk, so many Americans get their news from social media. They have already capitulated so much. So 30 days from now, when he starts doing a bunch of really screwed up shit, I'm talking sadistic stuff that Stephen Miller and that Border Czar startup. When Trump says, hey, I need for you to rig the algorithm, they're going to do it. That's what's more insidious than the taking away of TikTok and then giving TikTok back to you. He is going to start controlling the algorithms. Can you imagine that in your life you get to be a billionaire and you would think, oh, this is so great because I'm going to be beholden to no one. Not these guys. They're beholden to a man who cannot blend his makeup properly.
No, in all those clips that stuck out to me, like, get a fucking makeup artist. You're the president of the United States. You tell everybody you're a billionaire. You look like hammered dog shit. But I had two things on the TikTok ban. Number one, we see on Twitter what the controlled algorithm looks like, and it's a fucking cesspool. All these young people, Trump saved the day. He's so great. It makes me want to vomit in my mouth. And I'm furious that Biden didn't say, let's kick the can down the road. He said, I'm not going to enforce it, but that was it. He needed to go out there and say, I'm going to kick this can down the road, 90 days, 6 months, a year. Let Trump figure it out. Because then you have, like you said, political theater. Swoop in, Trump saves it. And here's the deal. Trump was raw hate TikTok. Then he cozied up with China and now all of a sudden he's the biggest advocate for TikTok. It's gross.
I want to correct the record here. Biden did kick it down the road. Everything that just happened before Trump was even sworn in. All of that was collusion and political theater. Every bit of it. There was no Biden did not enforce the law. He said, I'm going to wait and let the incoming administration do it. Is it a forced error somewhat for the Democrats not to have fixed this before? Yes. But then Trump walks in it and kind of takes away the forced error because Biden did kick it to Trump. And then Trump created this whole thing. And I mean, those are the facts of it.
Well, but don't you think if he would have made a bigger statement, which I guess it goes down to messaging, if he would have made a bigger statement, like it was like a small press release. If he would have made a big deal, like when the Supreme Court made the decision, this is the Supreme Court decision, like had a press conference even, because now all these young people who think Trump is funny and entertaining also think he saved TikTok.
Yes. I mean, I think that in this 24-hour news cycle that's about to be even more short-sighted. I mean, we're going to start going back in the Trump era. The first time it was a 2-hour news cycle,
right?
With his tweets and stuff. So I don't want to focus too much on this because this TikTok thing, there's going to be a million other things in the next 24 to 36 hours that will push this thing down so far. This is political theater, and he's going to be doing this a lot. He's the one that put his name on the checks in the
Right.
first go round, and he's going to be give me credit, love me, because my mommy and daddy didn't. And we're going to get 4 years of sustained broken inner child, titty baby, snowflake shit. And he has all these oligarchs that are going to be feeding the algorithm, all of this stuff. But before we leave today, I want our listeners to know this. More people, when you take in third party candidates, voted against MAGA than voted for it. And we're all still here. And you may see the oligarchs pre surrender, and you may see um, you know, the algorithms change, but it doesn't change who the majority of us are. We're not racist, sexist, homophobic, religious psychos that want to control everything that everybody does. And we can remain united and find each other on channels like ours and others, our peers like Brian Tyler Cohen, Midas Touch, Don Lemon, etc., to get your news, because this is going to be difficult, but nobody's ever tried to run this scale of a dictatorship
Mhm.
in the modern era. I mean, Putin tries it, but America's been a democracy for a long, long time. So we need to remain united, and we're going to start posting more news. I know a lot of you probably want to retreat into nihilism. I know I battle that every single day,
Mhm.
but we are going to have to remain vigilant and not pre-surrender and call out this motherfucker on every fucking thing he does.
Well said.
All right, we'll see you guys later today.